Hey, yay, yay, yo. What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Corrupt, and I'm back. Now, this all started back in '05, maybe '06. My son was about 8, 9 years old, which would make me about 21, 22 at the time. A lot of y'all thinking, man, that's not a very big age difference. Yeah, you're right, bro. You're right. But on that topic, I'll say this, and I'll say this once and only once. I am not his biological father.
But I am his dad.
See, most of the time, I don't even discuss it, man, because he's my son. As much as my daughters is my daughters, he's my son. And ever since he was 5 years old, man, people have assumed that I created him. I just, I just own it, man. Let them believe what they believe because he is my son. He's only 13 years younger than me, man. He came into my life when I was 18 years old. So, in a lot of ways, we've grown up together. All that being said, I was a good dad, but not really a decent person to be a dad. And at this point in my life, though, I had gotten myself away from a dark world of toothless, bug eyed, going fast circles, which I had been participating in for years, man. Years. Even before I got to Indiana. And that was a huge step in the right direction, I was thinking. But just as soon as I broke free from that vice, I quickly replaced it with another vice that I'd come to find out was an even longer road of despair that I'd been on before. It was worse than all that rocket fuel I had been on, man. And at this point in the story, I honestly thought I was doing great, though. I kicked that rocket fuel and thought, oh, well, these things are what doctors give out. And some of them weren't even supposed to be addictive, so they said. So I really thought things was getting better. I hadn't had withdrawal symptoms yet, and I've been dabbling with these things since I was like 13, man. But never really had an addiction to them in all those years until I kicked that rocket fuel. And I truly thought I was still doing better because I wasn't hooked on street drugs anymore. You know what I mean? And back at this time, I'd take ridiculous numbers of these, man, which in return made me have some energy, euphoria, body feeling great. And being in my early 20s feeling like I did, I was kind of a loose cannon, meaning you didn't know what I was capable of, man, what kind of craziness I'd get into. And at that point in my life, we were staying in a 3 bedroom that my mom was getting foreclosed on. And she had done moved out knowing that the bank would be repossessing it at any time. She thought it was coming right away. But I had a backup trailer that I had bought straight out with cash when I was about 20 years old and figured, hey man, let's go live in this house until we can't anymore. And you know what I mean? We got to go back to the dang trailer when we're forced to, when they finally come to repo it. And this house was in a lot better area of the city, man. And it would give my son access to a better school district as well. So, that's what we did. It was a way better area and had many kids that were around my son's age. And this was when kids still played outside, you know what I'm saying? But it was the kind of area that I let my boy go ride bikes and play all over the neighborhood. As long as he came back, checked in every so often, we was good. So, I was still in the streets at this point, hustling around, making moves and such. But anyway, so my son went to run the neighborhood. I was putting together a few stings for the day, getting ready, get the verbal re-up confirmed for later in the day. And I honestly couldn't tell you how many or how much things I had taken at this point, but it was enough to be feeling like I was super corrupt. So I get things lined up for that afternoon, man. Decide, I got a little free time. Go outside, hoop for a while, try to kill a little free time. Plus, I love playing basketball. Felt great at the moment. So I'm outside shooting, roughly 20 minutes or so. Now, this whole time, my son been riding bikes with his little buddies from the neighborhood, getting around, pedal, 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 skirt. Well, I'm out there getting shots up, and here comes a little crew of bike boys, you know what I mean? They pedaling their way. And of course, my son out there leading the pack, bro. I see him, he sees me, so he rides up, lock those back brakes up, power sliding into the driveway. Skirt. I'm knowing that I gotta leave soon, and was gonna see if he could go hang out with his friend, report to his friend's parents while I was gonna be out. But he was coming his way to come ask me for permission to stay the night with that same friend. So, that's all good. Yeah, you can do that. That works out for both ends. Bet. So I'm still shooting the hoops, and all these boys are standing around on their bicycles, just standing there, but had their bicycles, and they in the middle of my court / driveway. But after I agreed to let my boy go, stay the night at his friends, I'm sitting there telling him that I had to go out for a while, giving him the rundown, the do's and don'ts. And I was also sitting there, clowning around with him and his friends for a while. I was joking around with these kids and still putting up some shots, but I knew I needed to get going, go get my reel out the way and all that handle. But being in my early 20s and feeling the big boost of the pharmaceuticals, I decided I'd end my shoot around with a little show off move in front of my son and his little friends. I saw my boy on his bike. He about 2-3 feet from the goal. So I lined right up in front of him. Then I poof, 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 take off. Place my plant foot and launch, bro. Planning to jump over his front tire and handlebar area, clear all that and do a little layup. I was successful in my attempt, looking cool until until I was time to stick the landing, man. And just as I began my descent, my son chose to turn his handlebars. Woo! Turned them, bro. My son would never use that dang kickstand. He always had to pull up and just drop that bike on its side, making the end of the handlebars hit the pavement, whatever. So over time, he had a nice bike, but the rubber that covers the metal at the end of the handlebars been exposed. It was just rusty, kind of sharp metal ends on both sides. And I'm falling out the air now. Boom! There goes the movement that I can't see happen with his handlebars. Pow! And right before my feet hit the ground, bro, pow! I feel this pain. Boom! Now I'm trying to be that guy. My son's buddies all think that I'm some kind of this dude, you know what I mean? And I was trying to keep it that way. So I instantly sat down. I tried to play the pain off, which it was pretty hard. But because when he turned those rusty handlebars that had lined up to be the perfect spot to rack me. Guys, you know what I'm saying. Getting racked never feel good. But this was actually a different kind of pain, man, than different kind of pain than the normal hit in the midsection. I had a lot of pain, but it wasn't normal pain in regards to your boys being hit. And there was no stomach pain either. I thought, I'll just sit here for a minute, man, get myself together, then get back to my day as schedule. I tell my son that I'm good and to go on right over near the house where he's going to stay for the night because I was about to head out and go hit my marks. After a few minutes, man, I got up, went inside to get what I was taking with me, and the whole time I have this sting / burn down there on my money bag, bro. And the pain is increasing by the moment. Now in my mind, pain or no pain, I'm going to handle my business as planned. But before I leave, I needed to hit the bathroom, walk into my master bathroom, proceed to take a piss. Man, when I tell you, sheesh, I unzip, reach down to pull the equipment out. As soon as I bring my hand back up, man, it's covered in blood, bro. My heart dropped. My mind go running. I mean, Carl Lewis type running, man. Now, I got to check the situation out closely. My heart's beating hard. As I go to investigate, I can feel it. Foo, 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 foo. Man, I looked and saw something that I'm sure some other people may have fainted out on. My unit was fine, unit untouched, but the money bag was a different story, my boy. That jank was split right open, man. Right open. I'm saying like the money bag done turned into a change purse, G. It was hard to see exactly what was going on down there with the angle and all the blood. All I can really tell is a jagged slice, and looking through a slice, I could see this what looks like kind of round, shiny object. I start thinking, man, I don't have insurance at the time. But this isn't the type of wound that just heal with a band-aid and some time, man. This is a problem. Now I'm the only one at the house. I don't have anyone that can drive me, and I dang sure ain't calling no ambulance. So I quickly made up my mind, man. I went, got in the car, drove myself about 15 minutes to the hospital. As I'm driving, it starts hitting me mentally, man. Then all of a sudden, it gets to burning and hurting even more than before because I'm mentally agging it on in my own head. And I finally pull up to the ER, man, still not really being able to wrap my head around what just happened. And realizing I'm about to be super embarrassed, man. But what can I do? This is a real problem, and I need real help, man. Now the pain is increasing with every step I take as I'm walking down up to the reception desk, man. The whole place filled with female employees. The lady at the check-in desk asking me all the usual questions, and then then here it came.
What is the reason for your visit?
And I go into a quick panic in my head, man. Like, how am I going to put this? I don't want to have to go through this whole story. I just need help. Get me to the back, lady. And quickly, I give her a one-word answer, man. One-word answer. I just say,
Laceration.
which was a good answer for embarrassment, but not such a good answer to get to the front of the line. You feel me? So I'm sitting there in the waiting room, watching people who came in after me get called back before me. Whole time the burning and stinging is getting worse and worse. And then my mind starts running and wild again. I start thinking, man, what if I stand up, start walking, and this ball just rolls out my pants leg and across the floor? What if by not telling them how serious and where the laceration is, I just set myself up for failure medically somehow? This is before I had my daughters be born. So I'm thinking, what if somehow this just eliminated me from being able to father any more children? Got my mind playing tricks on me. After about an hour, I finally hear my name called. So I go walking back, trying not to shake that ball free and have to chase it down the hall. I'm telling you. By this point, I had started tripping. I really started tripping. Like I've been tripping the whole time, but at this point, I'm tripping even more. Now I finally get to the back room where I'm told, you'll be seen by this female nurse practitioner. But before that, I have to tell this regular female nurse about what happened. And she hooks me up with a little gown, leaves the room. I start changing out my clothes and into the little gown when I notice the heavy laughter coming from somewhere outside my room. Man, these folks was carrying me, man. Had to be. Nobody was joking or laughing the whole time I had been in there. But right after I told this nurse, she left the room. Everybody sounded like we at the laugh factory all of a sudden. So after a while, this nurse practitioner made her way into my room. And we went through the normal dialogue. Then she tried to reassure me that it wasn't a big deal. She sees things all the time like this. And, she also has 4 boys and not to worry. And I really wasn't worried about her seeing anything or nothing like that. I was just more embarrassed of the whole situation in general. And at one point, when she went up out the room, I used the hospital phone to call my homeboy / plug and let him know I wouldn't be there anytime soon. And I hit his line, and me not thinking it showed up on the hospital number on his caller ID. He was the plug, but he was actually, a close personal friend of mine. But hey, man, hey, you all right? What's up? Why you calling me from the hospital, man? Man, I just wanted to let you know I'm probably not gonna make it out today. But he wouldn't let it be. My guy kept pushing me for the info, man. Well, you good though, man? Do you need me to do anything? Let me know what's going on. If so, I can. I thought, screw it, man. I'ma spill the beans to him. Uh, so what? You the Uniball now? You gonna call? We gonna have to call you left nut if you lose that right one. So what's gonna happen? Man, at this point, I don't know. All that's taking place is the nurse practitioner clean the area up and be able to see what's really going on. I'll call you back later, man. Bro, good luck. Yeah, I appreciate that. After all of this, and the nurse practitioner tells me she thinks that I'm gonna be all right for the most part. That I didn't take a direct blow to the money bag, so pretty much it was just split open. Thank God. But then she says, I'm gonna go grab Dr. So-and-so off the 4th floor because he better equipped to deal with the male anatomy. Sheesh. Man, at this point, I feel like they should have just left the exam room door open because every nurse in the ER had to come into my room for one reason or another. It was the T of the ER at that moment. I'm pretty sure some of them ladies were coming in there making up reasons just to see if the gossip and jokes was going around there was really true and get to see for themselves, you know what I mean? And after a bit of time had passed, the Dr. So-and-so come walking in the room. Now, upon this man's entry, without saying hello or anything, his first comment through the door was,
Well, we just gonna have to cut him off.
I looked at this man in his eyes and replied, the hell you say? About that time, he broke a smile and proceeded to investigate my money bag. He goes on to tell me basically what the nurse practitioner had said, reassure me that it wouldn't look bad because how wrinkly and loose the money bag skin is by but by this time, man, I just want to go home, my boy. After a little time went by, I had a couple other nurses come in the room.
Bang, bang, bang.
Them numbing shots they do before they lace you up with them stitches. Ended up with them telling me that I took 13 stitches to seal that money bag back up. And be sure to keep them clean and that hold them on. You don't want no infection. Followed up with the come back in 14 days or so we could take them stitches back out, which I went a long way. Yeah. I just wanted to disappear back to the crib by now, man. I ended up getting a script for them painkillers and I think antibiotics as well. But finally got back home, took about 4 times what was directed of the dose and waited for that crazy day to finally be over, man. And the next day and the following days was pretty rough. Talking about sore, on fire, embarrassed. After the first week went by, it wasn't so bad. But during that first week, everywhere I went, I looked like a dang bull rider walking around, man. So after about the time frame had passed when they was talking about the come back and get the stitches removed, I had started thinking, man. I was thinking about the original cost of the first original visit and how much they gonna charge me to remove them on the next visit with no insurance. So I made a decision. I grabbed a handheld mirror, some tweezers, a little pair of medical scissors, and a light. I went back into my master bathroom, did my best sanitation to these tools, looked down at that money bag, and set up shop. got my light position, mirror in the right spot, tweezers and scissors in hand, and I got to work. Clip, pull, through. Clip, pull, through. All the way through them, man. Counting each one, 1 through 13. Double checking not to leave any of them behind and end up with an infected money bag. Anytime I look back on this story, man, I can just laugh now. I can just laugh. But at the time, it was super embarrassing, super uncomfortable. Back in those days, I still carried a large ego about my own self. always wanted everyone to look at me and think I was that dude. In a lot of ways, I was that dude, but that doesn't really matter. Crazy, embarrassing, humbling experiences can happen to the biggest, most highly thought of person at any time, no matter who you are. I've been working on being more humble for years now, man. But I've been noticing nowadays that being humble has been pushed to the back burner for a lot of people. With social media, everyone wants to just show the good things, and we hide the not so bright spots of ourselves and our lives. And this is life, and crazy things happen to everyone at some point or another. We as people have to check our own egos from time to time, man. It's not bad to hold yourself to a certain level, somewhat of an ego to an extent, I guess. But we must remember to remain humble, man. Don't don't get a big head. Don't think that you can do no wrong, or or everything you do is great and other people can't hold a candle to you. Because life has a way of evening the playing field, man. Keep your head held high. Do the right things to be able to keep your head held high. Stay on the moral high ground. Don't slip into the criminal elements. Don't slip into the darker parts of our world like I did and many before me have done. Remember, man, remain humble out here. Don't let your head get too big or it might get popped. And remember that everyone was once somebody's baby. And to them, that baby was a blessing. We all have disagreements from time to time, but allow yourself to be humble enough to try to find common ground before destroying one another. Hey, man, MLR, I know there's a little funny video, and it's an embarrassing time in my life, but I thought it'd be a good one, man. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope y'all come back see us. Hey, MLR, corrupt.